We've heard throughout these videos that it's really intuitive and simple to use Nectar to get a really sweet, conventional, kind of middle-of-the-road vocal sound. Of course, you can push some of the parameters, but it's all kind of in-the-box sounding, and it points you in the right direction with the vocal assistant to get you started, and all the modules kind of have their sweet spot ranges to get a nice sound. What I want to do in this video is kind of break all the rules and use it unconventionally and do everything backwards and different to really get a unique type of sound from Nectar, just to show you the range of its possibilities, because we've seen that it can sound sweet. I'm going to start off by working on this tune, Take You Back, which we've been using on and off throughout the videos. And I'm going to start off by leaving a couple of things in place that we've done in earlier videos. Now, I have Relay on the guitar bus where we used the vocal assistant to analyze and create a slight EQ dip here so that its vocals will sit in place more nicely. So I'm going to leave that in place. And I'm also going to leave the breath control plugin that we recently put on to control the aggressive breaths on the lead vocal. So I've got all the vocals in this mix. There's a bunch of harmonies. I've got them all sent to a vocal bus, and I've got Nectar on this bus. And let's just listen to a little bit. I'm going to solo a different part of the tune that we haven't heard before. And I'm not doing anything special on this. I don't want to spend too much time going over this. It's pretty generic. I've got a little bit of EQ established by Vocal Assistant with some subtle dips, nothing special there, some broadband de-essing, and a little bit of makeup EQ. And I set this to be frequency dependent so that it's moving a little bit, and then a bit of compression after. So let's just listen to a little bit of this vocal, or all the vocals, summed together with this off, and then I'll put it on.
And we fight, and we fight, and we fight, and we make it up. Taking pride in all the cuts we give away firsthand. We collide every time.
So a little bit of frequency dependent gain adjustment there, which I like, and a bit of light compression. So nothing too radical. Now, I've set up a send over here to go to a bus. I'm calling it Vocal Reverb Return. And here is where I want to go to town and set up a reverb return that's really aggressive and dirty and different. So let's start by just getting rid of everything, and I'm going to start from scratch. I'm not going to use any pitch on this, and let's just set our levels.
And we fight, and we fight, and we fight, and we make it up. Taking pride in all the cuts we give away firsthand. We collide.
All right, so that's going to be in the sweet spot, and I'm bringing the output down a little bit. I'm going to start with some saturation. I want to dirty up this signal before it goes anywhere else. So let's experiment with the different types.
And we fight, and we fight, and we fight, and we make it up.
That's really aggressive and nasty. It's breaking up already.
And we fight, and we fight, and we fight, and we make it up.
So I'm going to send that dirty signal into some reverb. And let's set this.
Taking pride in all the cuts we give away firsthand. We collide every time of the night and day.
Really dirty reverb, nasty sounding. I'm going to leave the EQ full open. I'm not going to sculpt it and make it all nice and sweet. And let's put it all the way up. We don't need a dry wet mix since this is on the return. And of course, we're monitoring only the return here.
And we fight, and we fight, and we fight, and we make it up.
Now let's set a gate after here. I don't want to have a classic gated reverb, but I just want it to die down gradually when there are spaces between the vocal phrases. So let's set this.
And we fight, and we fight, and we fight, and we make it up. Taking pride in all the cuts we give away firsthand. We collide every time of the night and day. We are blind to the light and never take a stand. No, I don't really care, 'cause I don't have a place for you.
So that's pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's a reverb return. We can get away with that. Now let's EQ that. And let's see what we can do. I'm going to Alt-click to solo the band.
And we fight. All the cuts we give away.
Somewhere around there, but I want to dip. So let's just pull this down. I'm going to hold Shift to move it down in a straight angle, and I'll leave the width somewhere around there. And let's solo this. Just the high end. That's what I want to affect. And let's have this follow the frequency. It's a little strident. I think I'm going to have it follow instead the gain. And we'll dial this up. Now let's follow this with some compression. I'm going to go for the solid state model. I want it nice and aggressive and a really aggressive threshold. And now let's throw on some delay to really get some nice diffusion to this somewhat semi-gated breaking up reverb. I'm going to leave that at quarter note, and that's at eighth note. Let's leave that, and we'll dial the feedback down. And now let's modulate that. I'm going to leave this off, and let's get a dimension plug in here. I'm going to go with the phaser and get it as aggressive sounding as I can. And let's widen the signal.
Make it something true. And we fight and we fight and we fight and we make it up. Taking pride in all the cuts we give away firsthand.
Without it,
we collide every
with it.
time of the night and day. But we are blind to the lie and never take a stand. Oh, I don't really care.
Bypass.
Don't have a place for you.
Enable.
I don't really care, 'cause I don't have a place for you. But I will take you back, 'cause I don't know what else to do. Maybe if I...
So it falls down in between the phrases. That's what the gate's doing. I'm going to finish off in the next video with the final playthrough.